Hey, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? A gracious good morning to you good people. It's your girl KB. You know what I do and you know why I do it. It is Tuesday morning, October 7th, and it is 3:20 in the a.m. And I'm able to pull it together now to find a different track to get on, to get grounded. And it's found on my MSN web browser. I knew if I looked for a hot second, yeah, I could shift focus. Again, I'm sitting here with an ice pack on my foot because it is killing me. For those of you who don't know, I sprained my ankle really bad last Thursday, and I rested for a couple of days, but I decided to do my thing yesterday as far as work is concerned, and I was on my foot all day yesterday, and I am paying for it today. It's a little stiff, it's a little sore. Bottom line, it hurts all to be damned. But here I am, self-abusing again, calling myself gutsy, but in quite a bit of pain. And as I shared yesterday, I don't do pain meds. So it's me, aspirin, and the ice pack. Here's the story. So MSN pop up. Jennifer Lopez. Okay, that was me giving pause to Kara what she really thinks. I'm desperate, y'all. I need to shift focus. Anywho, Jennifer Lopez fumes over Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime controversy. I'm going to say in my best Southern grandma voice, what you mad for? And that is usually all one word. What you mad for? Okay. I think if this story is accurate, if this byline, if you will, is on point, I need to say that the upset is happening now for beautiful Boricua folks, beautiful Latinos and Latinas. The upset is now because a goodly number of you have awakened to the fact that your proximity to white doesn't get you a pass. See, we've been saying that. By we, I mean folks with melanin in deep shades have been hoping for the wake-up call. And I want to remind the Latinos for Trump that a lot of you were going hard in the paint before the racism, including your own internalized, until you got the wake-up call. And the wake-up call continues, y'all. See, a lot of you have learned the N-word in your culture. A lot of you have some level of a caste system in your own countries based on melanin. A lot of you have bought into the colonization process and subscribe to, I want to say, the Spanish and Portuguese colonizers and disregarding the Afro influence, because you have bought into I want to say the generally accepted mindset that Africa really didn't contribute to anything in civilization, because that's what was force-fed by the colonizers. That part. And I need to say this. Let me just segue for a minute. For my good Christ-identified self, I've always found, I would say, conflict in trying to find representation of Africa in any of our presentations of Christianity. Stay with that for a minute. We've had movies about the time period, the greatest story ever told. We've had all kinds of imagery bombarded, as to what Christ looked like. And many of us grew up with those church fans, with the blonde, blue-eyed Christ. Many of us grew up with the church fans, with the Kennedy brothers and Martin Luther King. And many of us did not pay attention to that level of subliminal messaging. That these were our saviors. I have two Kennedys and I'll raise you a king. That kind of thing. But on the flip side of those fans, those advertisements, those messages, were other messages. The things that were advertised on those fans were usually two things that, capitalists told black folks that they needed: insurance and a funeral plan. Those are the folks who sponsored those fans for the most part. Yeah. So we're getting messages of hatred backed with messages of capitalism, all in a church setting. All that came together. And I'm going to attempt to find a Bible today. I have many, many Bibles. I study the Word. So I have many, many Bibles. But there's one particular Bible that I need to get my hands on. And I'm going to share the name in a minute. It pretty much gives credence to what I just said about the messages that we get from Christianity and this birth or rebirth or reactivation of white Christian nationalism. And the Bible is the Dakes Bible, where the Christian message is so convoluted with racism that people are off to the races, and literally off to the races. Maybe I should say racist. And it basically reinforces that mindset of, black people were cursed. And there's a couple of other organized religions that subscribe to this thought. Again, that's Dakes with a D. So I got to get my hands on a copy of that. And I think we really need to tear this thing apart, because a lot of what we identify as Christianity today still has messages from this particular translation. Yeah, I think I've worked myself up into a state now. Okay. Let's study to really show ourselves approved, and that is from the good book.